Hi guys, welcome back. Once again, my name is Shamika. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, I'm glad to see that you came back to stop by to see what I'm up to. So, in the first video that I recorded yesterday, I showed you guys how I cut my tulle for my tutus and how I sewed the casing on my tutus or my waistband, whatever term you would prefer to use. This evening, what I'm going to show you is how I sew my ribbon on my tutus. And pretty much in any video that you watch in regards to tutus, you're pretty much going to see the same thing. Most of us, we place our ribbon down on the sewing machine first, and then from there we'll lay our tulle and sew. This tutu that I'm sewing is going to have two different colors of ribbon on it. The ribbon that I'm using is satin ribbon, double face satin ribbon for this tutu. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get everything set up, and we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys how I sew my ribbon. I don't want the video to be super long and extra boring, so I'll kind of show you how I get started and show you sewing, the technique that I use to sew my tutus, and then from there I will, cut the video and then come back and show you when I'm doing the second step of sewing the ribbon on the tutu, and then we'll continue for there. As always, if you have any questions or comments, definitely please feel free to leave those in the comments section below, and I'll get back to you. So I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, so I am back, and what I did was I went ahead and threaded my machine with the ribbon that I'm going to use. I like to change my ribbon when I sew tutus. Some people don't. They just use all white, but I like to change mine. So now what we're going to do in order to sew the ribbon on, and I'm going to try to get you guys in as close as I can. Again, this is double face satin ribbon, and I've already heat sealed my ends, so you won't see me do that part on camera, because when I get done sewing, I'll go ahead and heat seal my ends so that way my ribbon won't fray while it's up. Sorry, my tool is like tangled. So now to sew my ribbon on my tool, I lay my ribbon down, and I have my ribbon on the right hand side of my presser foot. So I line that up with the right hand side of my presser foot. And then I take my tool. Nope, I said that backwards, sorry. I line my ribbon with the left hand side of my presser foot, and I line my tool up with the right hand side of my presser foot. Now, I've been moving around in here a lot to try to get this set up for you guys, so just give me a second, because I have to find the end of my tool now, because I don't know where it went. Okay, so like I was stating before, I always try to keep the excess of my tool on the outside, because I find it easier to control that way. And what I'm trying to do here is just kind of line these pieces up. And again, I like to straddle my tool between my legs, because I find it easier for me to control it. So I don't know if you can see. I have my ribbon, like I was saying, lined up to the left hand side of my presser foot. So if you're facing your sewing machine, that's your left. And then I will have my tool, the end of my tool, lined up with the right side of my presser foot. I don't have an overhead, I don't know what you call this, camera stand. I'm recording with my phone. I don't I don't even have a camera yet. So I'm just lining up my tool and putting my presser foot down. I'm using the same cinch length and everything, and you want to kind of pull on it a little bit so that it don't bunch up on you. And you're going to do just like you would when you sew anything else. You're going to go forward a few stitches, and then you're going to back stitch, and you're just going to keep on going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that tool in line with my presser foot, and I'm going to keep my ribbon in line with the presser foot, like I was saying earlier. You know, we have the ribbon lined up with the left side of the presser foot and the tool lined up with the right side. This will shift on you. So take your time and go as slow as you need to go. And you may have to kind of stop and readjust to kind of get it how you want it. In addition to, if you haven't already cut your ribbon, which I leave my ribbon on the roll, and then I just sew until I get to the end. So have your ribbon in a place to where you can just sew, and then it automatically kind of just unroll itself as you go. Sometimes what I will do is I'll pull a little bit out before I get started, and then I kind of just, you know, let it kind of self-adjust from there. And so to kind of keep this in line with my presser foot, what I'm doing is I'm taking my left hand and I'm pulling my tool to the left, and I'm almost kind of like pulling my ribbon to the right. But not like a hard pull, just a small tug to kind of keep things lined up. Now, if you notice that after you but after you sewed your casing, that your tool is off, like it's not perfectly lined up, then what you can do is kind of just take your rotary blade and try to even up those pieces. It's normally not that much that you're cutting off, so it's not really going to make a big difference in the length for the tutu. That's what I've noticed. I haven't gotten any complaints about my tutus being too short. So that's just something that you can do if you're having issues with your tool not being completely straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to sew until I get to the very end. Once I get to the end, I'll double stitch. I'll back stitch to secure my stitch from my tool and my ribbon, and then we'll come back and then I will show you how I add the second color on. So I'll see you guys back here in a few.